really have two objectives for you here today. The first one is just that, for you to use the information that you hear and to make an informed decision and cast your vote. But second, and I think more importantly, what we want to do is we want to kind of move you today into a path. And that path is one where you are an informed citizen being able to participate in the political process, that you become the voter of the future. And it's very, very important. There are many people concerned that we are becoming a nation of the few. Few are participating. And I think those concerns are voiced best by a quote from Senator Jennings Randolph, who stated that if the habit of good citizenship, which has made our nation strong over the years, continues to wane, we will become a government of the few, by the few, and for the few. Our democratic system relies on the collective wisdom of its members. And we're moving you, hopefully today, on a path that will have you involved, that will have you knowledgeable, that will have you informed, so that we protect against what the senator is concerned about. That you join not the few, but that you join and that you are part of the many in order to protect the freedoms and the process that we have developed well over 200 years. So with that as an overview of really our purpose here today, let me introduce to you this time Mark Jones, who will be our moderator this afternoon. He will present to you the format for the debate and the order of speaking for all the candidates. Mark.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to Carusi's Election 92 Presidential Debate Program. Our format will proceed as follows. First, we will hear opening remarks from each of the three presidential candidates: Peter Woodworth as President Bush, Aaron Sullivan as Governor Clinton, and Jenny Correa as Ross Perot. These remarks will be followed by a series of questions from the media for each presidential candidate. The candidate's answer will be followed by a rebuttal from his two opponents. This format will be repeated for the vice presidential candidates: Micah Spector as Vice President Quayle, Jason Portnoy as Senator Gore, and Nick Strasser as Mr. Stockdale. We will close the program with formal remarks from each of the vice presidential candidates. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of the media panel. Evan Reese as Sam Donaldson, Josh Cardos as Peter Jennings, Maya Kansari as Joan London, Mamta Kansari as Paula Swan, Charles Floyd as Ed Bradley, and Nikki Burstein as Barbara Walters. And I'm Mark Jones, Ted Koppel, serving as your moderator. We will now begin today's debate with opening remarks from President Bush. Bush?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press and of the United States. My question for you today is a simple one, but important. Who would you want in a global crisis? Bill Clinton, who has no foreign policy or military experience, Ross Perot, who has no government experience, or George Bush, who has a distinguished foreign policy record? This record includes such landmark accomplishments as the fall of the Berlin Wall, the collapse of communism, capitalism in China, the capture of Manuel Noriega, and the astounding success of Operation Desert Storm. The world has changed, and if we are to survive, we must change with it. The world is not, however, as the Democrats would have you believe, a safe place, and we just cannot afford to sit back and try to ignore the problems around us. At the same time, we must find a balance between a defensive economy and a peacetime economy. We can't have one and not the other. That's not the kind of change we need. One more thing before I close. Very soon, you will hear several remarks on the economy, especially from the Democratic Party. Their favorite attacks go something like this. The economy is the worst in 50 years, or the economy is the worst since the Great Depression. But one thing they always seem to forget is Jimmy Carter's economic record, and the fact that he was a Democrat. I appreciate Bill Clinton saying that he's not Jimmy Carter, but I just want to know why they keep forgetting. That's not making a very minor change in history on their part. That's making a major change. Their other favorite attack is, we'll only tax the top 2% incomes in the country. Folks, the top 2% starts at $64,000 and goes up from there. That includes most of us. The key issue is that I don't represent just change. I represent guided change. Now, with your support, I can keep America on the right track. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bush. Governor Clinton, your opening remarks.
Time to
to put people first. That's what George Bush promised, but did he do that? No, unless you count putting other countries before our own. He also promised to improve our economy and not to raise taxes. But under George Bush's rule, our country has had the worst economic record since the Great Depression, and taxes were raised. Those and many other promises he made, such as improving the environment, improving education, and bettering health care, were not kept. And I ask you, do you want 4 more years of unkept promises, or 4 years of a solid, growing country?
Thank you, Mr. Clinton. Mr. Burrow?
This is my last time to formally address you as a group, and I hope that some of the questions asked by the press will be yours. You've probably already decided who you're going to choose to lead this great country of ours, but I'd just like you to hear me out this one last time. I love this country, and I love what it stands for. And through my campaigning, I've talked about recreating the American dream. Let me just tell you what that is. The American dream to me is the equal opportunity to be successful and prosperous in business and anything else you wish to accomplish. It's being able to walk down a city street without worrying if you'll make it to the curb. It's everyone having a place of employment, and it's being able to elect a president based on your own beliefs instead of things crammed into your head by vote-hungry politicians. Over the past 4 years, this dream has deteriorated. The standard of living has been lower, and taxes have been higher. It's up to you to choose a candidate who will straighten out the course to a better tomorrow. I can't tell you what the other candidates would do if elected president, but if you sent me to the White House, I will immediately begin working on the problems Americans desperately need solved. I'd just like to take a little bit more of your time, if I may, to thank the candidates for coming out to the debate today. Thank you, and good luck, everybody.
Thank you. Our first question will be for the president from Sam Dawson.
Mr. President, in the 1988 election, you asked to be called the environmental president. To that end, you signed a law improving air quality, but loosened many environmental regulations. Also, you came out against legislation which would have required car manufacturers to improve the gas mileage in their products. With the performance record I just outlined in my question, how can you still call yourself the environmental president?
I'm sorry, but I don't think that you're looking on the right side of my record. During my term, a record 55 convictions against big-time polluters were made. A permanent non-drilling zone off the coast of California was established to protect marine wildlife. I also stopped destructive drift net fishing in the Pacific. 1.5 million acres were added to our national park. And before I unveil my final plan for our environment in the future, I would like to ask just one question of one of my opponents. Mr. Perot, with your record, you have attacked my economic record several times in the past, but you have not revealed your own. I would like to hear it if you have one. My final note is I have a new, inexpensive program called America the Beautiful, which will plant over 1 billion trees all over America. Individually, a tree may not seem like much, but if you see each tree as a point of hope on the horizon, I say our horizon looks pretty good right now.
Thank you. Mr. Clinton, you will have 1 minute to respond.
One of the main reasons that I chose Al Gore as my running mate is because of his knowledge of the environment and ways to improve it. We favor raising automobile fuel efficiency standards to reduce carbon dioxide emissions, that will create new jobs in environmental technology, and cut back on nuclear power and expand research on renewable energy resources such as wind and solar power.
Thank you. Mr. Perot, your response, please.
Questions about the environment, not the economy. As you said, back in 1988, President Bush said that he wanted to be the environmental president. This is just one of the many promises he didn't keep. The Republican Party publicly criticized environmentalists at their convention in August. Although Bush pushed the reauthorization of the Clean Air Act in 1990, the administration is undermining the act by obstructing regulations that spell out the intent of the law. And how can we forget that Bush almost did not attend the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in August? A true environmental president would not have made the excuses that our president did.
Thank you. Our second question will be for Governor Clinton from Peter Jen.
Governor Clinton, governor of Arkansas, you have no experience in foreign affairs. How do you plan to deal with international relations?
I feel that the cornerstone of this country must be domestic economic strength. The U.S. has lost its prestige overseas as a result of the weakened economy. We need to pay more attention to human rights, especially when dealing with trading partners. Also, concerning overseas military action, I back intervention only in morally justifiable cases, such as the Gulf War.
Thank you. Mr. Bush, you have 1 minute to respond.
A note to Ross Perot. Just because you have military experience doesn't mean you know foreign policy. Bill Clinton has said in the past that foreign policy should come from within, from our domestic economic strength. But foreign policy, by definition, means dealing with other countries, and we cannot afford to shut ourselves away and try to ignore the rest of the world just because we have problems. And if we ignore struggling nations such as the former Soviet Union, Yugoslavia, and Somalia, and put heavy taxes on their businesses here, all the while shouting for free markets in their countries, what do you think they'll do? They'll shut their doors and never come knocking on ours again.
Thank you. Mr. Perot, your response.
One thing I think we need to work on is eliminating nuclear weapons. It is true that we have agreements with several countries, but they're still out there. Middle Eastern countries are always shopping for new weapons, and Russia is so unstable that they could have to start all over again at any given time. However, it is cheaper, pennies on the dollar, to help stabilize Russia rather than go back to the Cold War. We definitely need to cut our military spending. For example, we spend $300 billion a year on the military, while Germany and Japan, our two biggest competitors, spend about $30 billion apiece. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will be for Mr. Perot from Joan London.
Mr. Perot, what would make a businessman like you better qualified than a politician to run the country effectively and take control of the federal government?
I feel that I'm just as qualified to be president of this country as the other candidates are. I have proved that I am an excellent businessman who is capable of solving major crises, and I know that I can do the same for our economy. As far as having no government experience, I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing. I haven't had the experience of saying one thing and meaning another. I haven't had the experience of showing favoritism, and I haven't had the experience of not looking at the public's interests, something that many politicians unfortunately do. If that's the kind of experience you want me to have, then I'm not the right choice. I do, however, have experience in getting the job done, and that's what I'd like to do for this country.
Thank you. President Bush, you will have 1 minute to respond.
As you all know, I was a Navy pilot in World War II and earned several medals in combat. I know how to make our military effective and efficient. I have also been ambassador to many cultures, countries, even entire continents in my time, including China, the NATO countries, the entire continent of Europe, and even the United Nations itself. I know how to deal with other nations both in peace and in war. I'm also the son of a senator and was practically born in Washington, so I know how to make my plans work with the government and through the government. And finally, I founded the Zappa Petroleum Corporation in Texas from the ground up, so I know how to make the economy and the free enterprise system work. The only credential I can't claim to have is that I have to make you, the American voter, feel bad about yourself and your country in order to get you to vote for me. I believe my credentials stand on their own and make me the most qualified man for president.
Thank you. Governor Clinton, your response, please.
First off, I feel that Mr. Perot is the least qualified of the three of us. Yes, he is a good businessman, and yes, he could help to improve the economy, but he has no prior political experience. Perot would drive the country into the ground. Now, Mr. Bush, you do have political experience, but your experience involves ruining the country you were elected to improve. And also, you have a bachelor's degree in economics from Yale, and you have said before that you will use that to improve the economy if reelected. My question is, why haven't you used that experience in your first term? I think that I'm the best person for the job because of my political background, and as governor of Arkansas, my state now has the country's best economic record.
Thank you. We will now begin the questions for the vice presidential candidates. Our first question is for Vice President Quill from Paul Lazar. Vice President, 35 million Americans face the likelihood that they could be turned away from a hospital emergency room in a time of great need because they have no health insurance. Should we have a national health plan that covers all Americans to avoid this from happening?
Healthcare costs too much now, and not enough Americans have it. George Bush would make healthcare more affordable to low-income families by giving out coupons to help purchase healthcare. As for national healthcare, it costs just too much. It would also take too long to initiate. I feel that it should be the people's job to buy healthcare for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Gore, you'll have 1 minute to respond.
We're the only industrialized nation in the world without national health care for all citizens. In the first year of the Clinton administration, Congressman Bill Clinton will deliver quality, affordable health care for all Americans. Under our plan for national health care insurance reform, employers and employees will either purchase private insurance or buy into the public program. As for the poor and unemployed, they will have access to the public program. Also, in the past, Vice President Quayle has said that under the Clinton plan, people would have to wait in long lines and they would receive uncaring treatment. But Vice President, unlike in your term, people will actually be receiving treatment. Thank you.
Thank you. Admiral Stockdale, respond, please.
Our healthcare system has literally failed the American people. Things need to change, and now is better than later. Bush campaign makes you think that the problem really isn't that bad. Well, it is. It's time for us to get our heads out of the sand and confront the problem. Our plan calls for a short-term program to contain costs and encourage preventive care. Also, our plan would begin long-term reforms based on a public and private partnership, which would give people adequate care, but not force people out of a job. We will, in addition, by improving the quality and delivery of Medicare and Medicaid services, save $141 billion over a period of 5 years.
Thank you. My second question is for Senator Gore from Ed Brand.
Senator Gore, we have all heard the reports that the quality of American education is declining, that American students' test scores are dropping, and that American students can't compete with students in other countries. My question to you is, what is your plan to put the U.S. school system back on track?
We'll start by placing a high priority on providing high-quality daycare by providing fully funded Head Start to all preschool-age children. Also, Bill Clinton and I plan on improving primary and secondary education by establishing tough standards, reducing class sizes, and giving every parent the right to choose the public school his or her child attends. After high school, those students who wish to continue on to college but can't afford it will be given a chance to borrow money that can be repaid by community service. Also, for those students who do not want to go to college, we will develop a national apprenticeship program that offers these students training in a valuable skill with the promise of a good job when they graduate.
Thank you, Senator Gore. Our next, Vice President Quayle, you'll have 1 minute to respond.
President Bush has a plan called Education 2000. This plan will make students #1 in math and science by the year 2000. Bush will also give loans to people who can't afford college but want to go nonetheless. President Bush feels that students should choose their school whether it is public, religious, or private. After all, this is a free country.
Thank you. Mr. Stockdale, your response, please.
The fact is, we were second to last in math and science. If it makes you feel any better, we beat Thailand. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that our education system must be reformed. The PRO plan advocates more preschool training and national standards in testing. We also feel that parents should have a choice to what public school to send their children. There is also a possibility we might try to experiment with vouchers. Furthermore, our plan will encourage teaching careers for military professionals who would otherwise be let go due to defense cuts.
Thank you. question is for Admiral Stockdale from Barbara Walters.
Retired Admiral Stockdale. We've heard so much about character in this campaign. We've seen negative advertising and we've heard the name call. We're going to give you a chance to be positive in your answer to this question. What qualities and experience do you have which should lead us to vote for you for Vice President?
In 1860, the citizens of this country had a choice between Stephen Douglas and Abraham Lincoln as to who should be President of the United States. We made the right choice in Abraham Lincoln. Character played an important role in that election, and it plays an important role in this one. But it is no reason to criticize another candidate because of it. Character is an issue only for the voters, not the politicians. As for my qualifications, I've had experience as a leader while in Vietnam. But as for experience in government, I can't say that I have any at running up a $4 trillion debt which has been created for the past 12 years.
Thank you. Vice President Quayle, you have 1 minute to respond.
Character builds the man, and men built this glorious nation. Hence, character built this country. The president of this nation should, if not must, have character. As for experience, President Bush, before being president, was vice president for 8 years. Even before that, he was senator of Texas. As for me, I did have a background in politics as I was senator of Indiana. But because of this, I feel that the Republican ticket is the most qualified for running this country.
Thank you. Senator Gore, you also have 1 minute to respond.
I grew up in a political background as my father was a senator from Tennessee for many years. I graduated from Harvard University in 1969, and I have served in Congress and Senate for the last 15 years. This has helped me to know the government. Therefore, I believe I am the most qualified of the 3 vice presidential candidates.
Thank you, Senator Gore.
Our program will end with remarks from each of the 3 vice presidential candidates. Vice President Quayle.
Ladies and gentlemen, on November 3rd, this nation will make a choice. The people of this great country will choose one of 3 people to be their leader. Those 3 people are Bill Clinton, Ross Perot, or George Bush. Of these men, only one has experience under pressure. Only one has been proven in office, and only one has the knowledge of not only this country, but the world. That man is George Bush. George Bush had experience since he is the current president of this great country. Before that, he was president under Ronald Reagan. He was vice president under Ronald Reagan. Now, neither Ross Perot or Bill Clinton has held either of these positions. The experience of Ross Perot is simply that of a businessman. The experience of Bill Clinton is that of governor. He can handle a small state pretty well, but as president, you must handle 50 states, not one. George Bush and I will also, if re-elected, try our hardest to turn this country around. If elected, both Clinton's and Perot's economic plan will take 5 years, 2 terms. George Bush and I haven't yet had 5 years. If you would give Clinton and Perot 5 years, why wouldn't you give Bush 5? If you want results before 1996, vote Bush
The
Quayle.
last 12 years under President Reagan, Vice President, now President Bush, and Vice President Quayle, our economy has gone down. Our national debt has gone up, and our country's education system has flat out gone. Our nation needs a person who can lead us out of this recession and towards the future. We have found our man in Bill Clinton, who can and will lead us in our search for tomorrow. Over the Republican reign in office, our government has spent too much money and has left us with the worst economy in 50 years. Since Ronald Reagan's Star Wars proposal in 1983, America has spent $26 billion in an ineffective pursuit of a foolproof defense against nuclear attack. Right now, we should be more concerned with destroying these missiles, not creating new ones. This will prove the Republicans made yet another crucial mistake, costing our country an intolerable sum of money. In addition to reducing defense spending, Bill Clinton and I are in favor of controlling spending and cutting 3% a year out of the administrative costs of government. all of which, along with tax raises for the top 2% of incomes in the country, would in time help bring down the deficit. The most important of all the issues expressed during this campaign is that of our future. The major part of looking ahead must be done by you, the voters, by electing Bill Clinton president on November the 3rd. It's time for a change in America, a change to benefit everyone, especially you, the middle-class residents of this great country. I strongly believe that we are the step in the right direction, and I hope you do too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gore. Admiral Stockdale will finish you up.
You have seen all sides of the issues put before you today. Now you have a choice. A choice between Democrats and Republicans, or two candidates running by themselves, with their own finances, with no backing from anyone except the voters in this vast nation. If you elect us, you'll see more than politics as usual. Ross Perot has led the fight to put the middle-class citizen back in the government by improving education, helping the poor, and working on foreign affairs. Putting laws in Texas in front of the Texas legislature, such as his education bill, which made sure that students were going to school to learn, not just to play sports. He also founded the Perot Foundation to help the people of the inner city make a better life for themselves. When he had 2 employees wrongly imprisoned in Iran during the Iranian Revolution in 1979, what did he do? He got them out, while putting his own life in danger. And how can we forget what he did to save the POWs imprisoned in Vietnam like myself? Not only did he get conditions improved, but he flew all the way to Hanoi with Christmas dinners. Now he's crusading to get the POWs out that may still be there. Ross Perot is one of the greatest men this country has ever seen. Today, you have the choice to decide who should be president. 2 proven politicians or a proven patriot. You must decide, and I wish you good luck. Before I close, I'd like to thank the campaign staff, Jocelyn Weatherby, Stephanie Augustine, Gino Hart, Robert Condi, Josh Leonardi, Hites Penchot, Marion Fontanella, and Greg Broom. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to all the candidates for presenting their views. We also would like to thank the media for expressing their questions to the candidates and all the other people that made this program possible. This concludes our debate. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Let me just take a minute or two to really give you a behind-the-scenes look, and I think that's important. I present to you today 6 students who I think serve as models to you. And I just want to give you a process really that takes you through what they have experienced over the past 5 weeks. They heard of an opportunity available to all of you. 40 students came forward, 6 to come at some higher level of participation. And from the opportunity, they volunteered, and then they committed an extremely significant amount of time. And their challenge just kept becoming greater. The challenge was to come before you, a very difficult audience of their classmates, and to speak before you, but at a more advanced level. Not at the level of speaking about something that you feel very strongly about, but rather in the case of everyone except one student, of speaking in a role that you don't believe in, and the philosophy of a candidate that you really don't feel very strongly about. And that's the challenge that they met, and that's the challenge that they have exhibited here really for you today in truly outstanding fashion. And I'd like you, if you will, please, to join me in a second round of applause, not only for the candidates, but for the media and members of the 8th grade class as well.